Chinese Americans across 40 U.S. states rallied in support of a New York City police officer who was convicted of killing an unarmed black man. A jury found Peter Liang guilty in the 2014 shooting. Liang says he accidentally fired his gun in the dim stairwell of a New York City housing project. Dozens gathered in Washington, D.C. to protest Liang's conviction. Protesters say Liang is a scapegoat for previous high-profile police shootings involving African-American men. Larry Shinagawa is a research director with New Asian Leaders, and he joins me now to discuss the Liang case and the backlash. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you.
So Officer Liang's conviction comes on the heels, as we know, of several high-profile shootings of unarmed black men by white officers in America. The supporters at some of these rallies say that the Chinese-American former officer would not have been convicted of second-degree murder if, in fact, he had been white. Do you agree, and is this the message?
This is part of the message. Certainly there seems to be a pattern of injustice that happens across the United States. We're seeing many police officers who had killed some black individuals and other people who are indigent. And what ends up happening is that there doesn't seem to be justice. Over and over, and there is an effort to try to get that justice, and we find out that they do not. Just in the city of New York itself, there were 179 police shootings more recently since 1999. And of that, what happened was that only 3 had indictments, and only 1 resulted in a conviction. In all of this, most of the officers, who are mainly white, were never charged and found guilty. So what we're wondering is Officer Liang a scapegoat for some of the injustices and the kind of problems that exist in police accountability in the New York Police Department?
So Officer Liang, former Officer Liang, has been convicted of second-degree manslaughter, saying there was no malice or intent. This was clearly an accident.
Definitely.
His defense is that he says he did not know how to perform CPR, and he's a victim of bad training by the police academy. Do you agree?
Absolutely. There needs to be accountability, and there needs to be reforms in the police system. What we find is that the training is not enough. How can you imagine getting 2 rookie police officers who are not very long in the service, 1.5 years or so, going out into a dark, dim-lit area, and then they're patrolling? There should be somebody that would be more senior there. There should be greater training on CPR. There should be more training on how to deal with these kinds of circumstances. And yet they hadn't been trained, and they did not know exactly what to do in terms of the CPR training.
So, Larry, let me ask you, these rallies, are you saying that he is a scapegoat or that he is, in fact, not guilty of second-degree manslaughter?
What we are saying is that we need to have greater accountability. We need to make sure that fairness and justice prevails. Rather than to use one particular person as perhaps a scapegoat, what we want is systematic reform of the police administration and the justice system.
Are you calling for this to be, for the judge to declare this a mistrial, or would you like to have him found not guilty on an appeal?
I can't speak for everyone by any means. I think there's a wide variety of opinions within the Chinese American and the Asian American community. But I think that all of us believe that if he is sentenced, we want to make sure that that sentencing takes into consideration all of these factors and becomes, let's say, compassionate in how the sentencing actually occurs.
All righty. Larry Shinagawa, thank you so much for your time.
Sure. You're welcome.
We appreciate it.